All right, language explorers. So, King Lear, Act 1, Scene 1. A room of state in King Lear's palace. Enter Kent, Gloucester, and Edmund. I thought the king had more effect to the Duke of Albany than Cornwall. It did always seem so to us, but now in the division of the kingdom, it appears not which of the dukes he values most, for qualities are so weighed that curiosity in neither can make the choice of either's moiety. Is not this your son, my lord? His breeding, sir, hath been at my charge. I have so often blushed to acknowledge him that I am now braced to it. I cannot conceive you. Sir, this young fellow's mother could, whereupon she grew round wombed, and had indeed, sir, a son for her cradle ere she had a husband for her bed. Do you smell a fault? I cannot wish the fault undone, the issue of it being so proper. But I have a son, sir, by order of law, some year elder than this, who yet is no dearer in my account, though this knave came something saucity to the world before he was sent for, yet was his mother fair. This was a good sport at his making, and the whoreson must be acknowledged. Do you know this noble gentleman, Edmund? No, my lord. My lord of Kent, remember him hereafter as my honourable friend. My services to your lordship. I must love you, and sue to know you better. Sure, sir, I shall study deserving. He hath been out 9 years, and shall again. The king is coming. Senate within. Enter Lear, Cornwall, Albany, Gornil, Regan, Cordler, and attendants. Attend the lords of France and Burgundy, Gloucester. I shall, my lord. Meantime, we shall express our dark purpose. Give me the map there. Know that we have divided in 3 our kingdom, and 'tis our fast intent to shake all cares and business from our age, conferring them on younger strength, while we, unburdened, crawl towards death. Our son of Cornwall, and you, no less loving son of Albany. We have this honour, a constant will to publish our daughter's several doers, that future strife may be prevented now. The prince, France, and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love, long in our court have made their adorned sojourn, and here are to be answered. Tell me, my daughter, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest or territory, cares of state, which of you shall say does love me most, that we our largest bounty may extend, where nature doth with merit challenge. Gornil, our eldest born, speak first. Sir, I love you more than word can wield the matter, dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty, beyond what can be valued, rich or rare, no less than life with grace, health, beauty, honour, as much as child ere loveth our father found, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable. Beyond all manner of so much, I love you. Cordia, aside, what shall Cordia speak, love, and be silent? Lear, of all these bounds, even from this line to this, with shadowy forests and with champions riched, with plenteous rivers and wide-skirted meads, we make thee lady to thine and Albany's issue. Be this perpetual. What says our second daughter, our dearest Regan, wife of Cornwall? Speak. Sir, I am made of the self-metal as my sister, and prize me of the worth In my true heart I find she names my very dear of love, only she comes too short that I profess myself an enemy to all those joys which the most precious square of senses possess. And I find I am alone facilitate in our dear Highness's love. Cordelia aside, and poor Cordelia, and yet not one since I am sure my love's most ponderous than my tongue. To thee and thine hereditary ever remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure, than that conferred on Gornelli, now our joy, although the last and least, to whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive in the interest. What can you say to draw a third most opulent than your sister? Speak. Nothing, my lord. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again. Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no more, no less. Then how, Cordelia? Mend your speech a little, lest you may mar your fortunes. Good Lord, you have begot me, bred me, love of me. I return those duties back as right fit. Obey you, love you, and must honour you. Why have my sister's husband, if they all love you? Happily, when I shall wed, those lords whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure I shall never marry like my sisters, to love my father all. But goes thy heart with his? Ay, my good lord, so young and so untender, so young, my lord, and true. Let it be so. Thy truth then be thy dower, for by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operations of the orbs, from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I disclaim all my parental care, propinquity and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee from this for ever, the barbarous Scythian, or he that makes his generation messes to gorge his appetite, shall be to my bosom. Be as well neighboured, pitified, and revelled, as thou sometime, daughter. Good, my liege. Peace, Kent. Come not between the dragon and his wrath. I loveth her most, and though to set my rest on her kind nursery. Hence, and avoid my sight, so my grave my peace as here I give. Her father's heart from her, call France who stirs, call Burgundy, Cornwall, and Albany. With my two daughters dowest digest this third. Let pride, which calls her plainless, marry her. I do invest you jointly with my power, preeminence, and all the large effects that troop with majesty. Ourself, by monthly course, with reservation of 100 nights, by you be sustained shall our abode. Make with you by due turn. Only we shall retain the name, and all addition to the king, the sway, revenue, and execution of the rest. Beloved sons, be yours, which to confirm this co-naught part between you. Royal Lear, whom I have ever honoured as my king, loved as my father, as my blessed followed, as my great patron, though on in my prayers the bow is bent and drawn, make from the staff. Let it all fall further, though the fork invade the region of my heart. Be Kent unmannerly when Lear is mad. What wouldst thou do, old man? Think thou that the duty shall dread to speak, when power to flattery bows in plainless honours bound, when majesty falls to folly, reverse thy state, and in thy best consideration check this hideous rashness, answer my life, my judgment. Thy youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor are these empty-hearted, whose low sounds reverb no hollowness. Kent, on thy life, no more. My life I held but as a pawn to wage against thine enemies, near fear to lose it, thy safety being the motive. Out of my sight. See better, Lear, and let me still remain the true blank in thine eyes. Now by Apollo, King, thou swearest thy gods in vain. O Vascal, miscreant, laying his head on his sword. Dear sir, forbear. Kill the physician, and fee bestow upon the old disease. Revoke thy gift, or whilst I vent clamour from thy throat, I'll tell thee thou dost evil. Hear me, recreant, on thine allegiance hear me. Since thou hast sought to make us break our vows, which we durst never yet, and with strained pride to come betwixt our sentences and our power, which nor our nature nor our place can bear, our potency made good, take thy reward. 5 days we do allot thee for provision, to shield thee from disasters from the world, and on the 6th to turn thy hated back upon our kingdom. If on the next day following thy banished trunk be found in our dominions, the moment is thy death. Away, by Jupiter, this shall be not revoked. Kent, fare thee well, king, sith dost thou will appear. Freedom lives hence, and banishment is here. The gods to this dear skelter that take thee made, that just thinketh, and that's how rightly said. And our large speeches may your deeds approve, that good efforts may spring from words of love. Thus Kent, or princes, bids you all adieu. He'll shape his own course in a country new. Flourish. Re-enter Gloucester with France, Burgundy attendants. Here's France and Burgundy, my noble lord. My lord of Burgundy, we first address towards you, with who this king hath rivalled for our daughter. What in the least will you require in presence dower with her, or cease your quest of love? My most royal majesty, I crave no more than hath your highness offered, nor will you tender less. Right noble Burgundy, when she was dear to us, we did hold her so, but now her price has fallen. Sir, then she stands, if aught within the little seems substance, or all of it with our displeased peace, and nothing more, may fitly like your grace, she's there and she is yours. I know no answer. Will you, with these infirmities she owes, unfriended, new adopted to our hate, dowed with our curse and strange with our oath, take her or leave her? Pardon me, royal sir, election makes not up such conditions. Then leave her, sir, for by the power that made me, I tell you all her wealth. For you, great king, I would not from your love make such a stray, to match you where I hate. Therefore beseech you to avert your liking more worthier away than a wench from his nature ashamed, or must acknowledged hers. This is most strange, that she, who even but now was your best object, the argument of your praise, balm on your hand, the best, the dearest, should in the thrice time commit a thing so monstrous, to dismantle so many folds of your favour. She, sure her offence must be of such unnatural degree that monsters it, or of your fore-vouched affection for into taint. which to believe of her must be faith that reason without miracle should ever plant in me. I yet beseech your majesty, if, for I want the gib and oily art to speak and prose not, since that well intended, I'll do it before I speak, that you make known it is no vicious blot, murder or foulness, no unchaste action or dishonoured step, that have deprived me of your grace and favour, but even for want for that which I am richer, a still soliciting eye and such a tongue as I am glad I have not, though not to have it, have lost me your liking. Better thou hadst not been born than that ever pleased me better. Is it but this, a tardiness in nature, which often leaves the history unspoken, that it intends to do? My lord of Burgundy, what say you to this lady? Love's not love when it is mingled with regards that stands aloof from the entire point. Will you have her? She herself a dowry. Royal King, give that proportion which yourself proposed, and here I take Cordelia by the hand, Duchess of Burgundy. Nothing. I have sworn, I am firm. I am sorry, then, you have so lost a father that you must lose a husband. Peace with Burgundy, since the respects of our fortunes are his love. I shall not be with his wife. Fairest Cordelia, that art most rich, being poor, most choice forsaken, and most loved despised. Thy virtues here I seize upon, be it lawful. I take up what's cast away. Gods, this strange that from the coldest neglect my love should kindle to inflamed respect. Thou dowerless daughter, king throne to my chance, is queen of us, of ours, an hour of fair France. Not all the dukes of waterish Burgundy can buy his unprized precious maid of mine. Bid them farewell, Cordia, though unkind, though Lucius here a better where to find. Thou hast her, France, let her be thine, for we have no such daughter, nor shall ever see that face of hers again. Therefore be gone without our grace, our love, our benison. Come, noble Burgundy. Flourish. Exit Lear, Burgundy, Cornwall, Albany, Gloucester, and attendants. Bid farewell to your sisters. The jewels of our father, with washed eyes, Cordelia leaves us. I know what you are, and like a sister am most loath to call your faults as they are named. Love well our father, to your professed bosoms I commit him. But yet, alas, I stood I within his grace. I would prefer him to a better place. So farewell to you both. Prescribe us not our duties. Let your study be to content your lord, who hath received you at fortune's arm. You have obedience scanted, and are worth the want you have wanted. Time shall unfold what plighted cunnings hide. Who covers faults at last shame decried. Well may you prosper. Come, my fair Cordelia. Exit France and Cordelia. Sister, it is not little I have to say of what most nearly apparitions to us both. I think our father will hence tonight. That's most certain, and with you next month with us. You see how full of changes his age is. The observations we have made of it have not been little. He always loved our sister most, and with what poor judgment he hath now cast her off as appears too grossly. 'Tis the infirmity of his age, yet he hath ever but slender known himself. The best and soundest of this time hath been but rash. Then we must take from his age to receive not alone the imperfections of long engraved condition, but wherewithal the unruly unwaywardness that infirm and choleric years bring them. Such unconstant starts are we like to have from him as this of Kent's banishment. This is general complement of leaving taking between France and him. Pray you let us hit together, if our father carry authority with such positions as he bears. His last surrender of his will but offend us. We shall further think of it. We must do something, and I thinketh